And we're going to pull in Deborah into the call. Hello, Deborah.
Hi. Hi.
How are you?
I am good. How are you guys?
All right. We've had
Doing
a
okay.
crazy day.
Yes, I've been listening. There's some interesting callers.
Indeed, Deborah. What did you want to talk about today?
So, yeah, I am a deconstructing theist. I have kind of I've had doubts for like a long time about Christianity because that's what I grew up in. I was Baptist, and my family's all still is and everything. And I have just been, but it's been very more recently that I've actually started deciding to actually deconstruct and actually like go into it and try and figure out like why am I having these doubts and is what I believe even rational? And I mean, I've pretty much come to the answer that no, it's not. But I think one of my hangups has been where I can't like fully let it go is my question that I put in with the call screener was that does the idea of what happens after everything scare you with your lack of belief in a god or gods? And because I think that's one thing that's been a struggle for me is that it kind of just scares me if I fully let it go, I guess.
That's fair. And I think that I know you are not alone, especially as a person who's deconstructing, like really coming to terms and understanding how you feel about that and like really embracing the fear in that is, I think, an experience that most people who deconstruct have. And I would recommend checking out Recovering from Religion and utilizing their resources because I am almost positive. Oh, it's raining. I was like, what does that sound? I'm almost positive that that's like that has to be one of the most asked questions or most like the biggest challenges that people have internally. Personally, and I feel like I sound like Promise because this is probably what she would say. I was really more driven by what was true. And so for me, it felt like I was being a part of a religion like Christianity, like Catholicism, felt like trading in my integrity, what I thought was true, in favor of an alleged God that I don't have proof is real, that I don't think is a good person, even if he is real, and is like an egomaniac. And so I kind of was like, at a certain point, I was like, I actually, even if this this other world exists, I don't think that this is like to like put all of my life in the hands of a person that I think is like, first of all, not real, but if he is not a good person, on top of it all, to earn my place with him, I was like, I don't even really think I want to be there. Like I'll be in whatever nebulous nothing there is in as an alternative to being a part of this like community that I think is like super out of their integrity at best, and extremely harmful. So yeah, and I second guessed myself. I think even like when I joined the line, because I was not like, and this is like well over a year ago now. I think I didn't second guess that I didn't believe, but I don't think that I had like as strong of conviction in what I did and didn't believe in as I do now. And being part of communities like this just helps. And like to some degree, it's like sort of creating an echo chamber of like confirming, like, okay, when we have people like Gary call in and you're like, literally, what the fuck is he talking about? It's like those types of moments are kind of helpful. Like they help you just like ground yourself in like the version of Christianity that or Christianity that existed in your home might have felt really harmless to you because it was what you grew up in, and day to day felt harmless to you. But when you see it on like this macro scale, and you have the Garys of the world calling and saying like the most batshit things you've ever heard in your life, and when you see it in a macro scale, like the way that we do in like the government that we have now and the decisions that they're making on behalf of the rest of the country because of their own personal belief systems, it's easier to be like, okay, I understand why I'm choosing out of this and why I get to opt out of this thing that is like pretty objectively harmful. Arden, do you have any thoughts?
Um, Not too much to add on to that. I did want to ask you though, Deborah, um, kind of what it is that scares you about it. Because I think I usually hear like two main themes when people say they're scared of what happens after, right? Like either it's a fear of hell, that eternal torment, or it can often be also like a fear of if heaven's not real, then that means all of my loved ones who I thought I was going to get to see again, suddenly now that is taken away from me. So I'm kind of curious where you're coming from on that.
Yeah, so it's kind of a mix of things, and I kind of feel like I don't. This is gonna be kind of weird to say, but I kind of feel like I'm screwed either way because I kind of feel like you, if I hold on to my beliefs, well, whether or not I hold on to my beliefs, and if God is real, that I feel like I'm going to hell no matter what because
Mm.
I have probably even before I started actually deconstructing, it's been several years that I have probably been like, God's a dick. And I kind of hate him, and he doesn't know how to run a universe. If that's, I kind of feel about him the same way I feel about Trump. Trump doesn't know how to run a country. God doesn't know how to run a universe. And I'm
Period,
like,
Deborah.
that probably is something that is not going to curry me any favor with God. So I think that probably a pretty like something that's in the cards for me if he is real, but also just kind of the idea of also just nothingness, because not knowing is also just kind of scary in general. Of, I mean, I already am a fairly anxious person, and
Mhm.
I have had a lot of things going on in my life, and it is kind of scary the thought of there not being anything and not being able to, yes, see loved ones and things like that again, or there being something and it not being the way that people try to portray it is either, you know? Um, so it's kind of a mixture of things.
Yeah.
I'm trying to just, it's just all scary to think about in a way.
I was going to say, I know like one of the lines that people will like to use to combat this is like, how much time are you spending being afraid of afterlives you don't
Mhm.
believe in? But it sounds like you are genuinely like, nope, I'm afraid of all of them. I've been concerned about all of them.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's hard to, I don't, maybe I'm just weird about this. I've honestly, the way I've come to peace with it is kind of, you can appeal to that sort of like, there was billions of years before you were born, and that didn't really
Mhm.
feel like anything to you. So it really is going to be no different after you die, right? And to me, I kind of view it honestly as like a wonderful, relaxing sleep to be in oblivion. I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah.
dude, life is so exhausting. I like life. I am not depressed or having any desires to be there, right? Like dying sounds terrifying.
Mhm.
But to me, I feel like the absence of existing sounds quite peaceful. I'm like, when it's my time, I'm gonna be like real ready. Be like, man, this shit was exhausting. I am so done. Like,
Mhm.
let's put a cap on it here. But yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. I don't know if there's any one way to deal with it. I think that really enjoying your life now, the one life that you have, is really important to help you cope with not knowing, because like no one's ever going to know, right? No one's ever known for sure what happens. And so I think really maybe the task on you is to try to figure out if you're able to focus more on the life that you do know you absolutely have, which is this one. And like Alyssa was super right to point you towards RFR to kind of help you, maybe interact with some people who are going through similar things to you to kind of get their thoughts on it because they're more actively in the process of it. But yeah, I don't know, Alyssa, do you have more thoughts on that too?
I think it's like you were saying, like it's interesting because I think not being a part of religion anymore and like not engaging in conversations about like afterlife created so much more meaning for me in my life now. It felt like it put a fire under my ass to like do the things that I want to do. It created so much more meaning out of every interaction I have with the people that I know and I love, because even if you decide, you know what, this is really scary and I actually am going to go back to religion because at least then there's some relief in, whatever. Not knowing if, like, you still don't know for sure that an afterlife exists. And once you've sort of like released that possibility, then you're able to really focus on the time that we do have. And like, what an incredible gift of perspective to say, like, oh my God, like every moment that I have on this earth gets to have more meaning now. Like the impact that I can bring to every moment of my life can be like massive because now I've like put sort of like a different end cap on it. And the other thing too is like we have no control over when we go. It could be in 60 years, it could be in 10, it could be tomorrow. It won't be for any of us, but it could be. Like we don't know. And so it's more than anything, I think it's motivation to make the most out of all of the time that we have. And I agree with Arden that I think there's kind of like a grieving process that you should experience, I think. But once you get beyond that, it's actually kind of like peaceful. And it almost feels like when I was more involved in religion, I felt a pressure of, am I doing enough? Am I showing up enough for this God, for this community that like honestly doesn't care about me? But am I being the person that I need to be to make it into this exclusive club? Versus now in my life, I feel like I can evaluate my life based on the people that are important, the projects that I want to engage in, the life that I want to create, like the like love that I want to share with the people and animals and whatever that I care about. Like your life really gets to be the one that you want to create, which is exciting. So I think there's like a lot of perspective shift that you get to have in this. And I think that sometimes it feels a little bit like we are like Delulu gaslighting ourselves into like being okay. But I kind of think that like sometimes a lot of the time, it's a kind of a fake it till you make it until you start to believe and like live in that truth, which is every moment of your life gets to be special now. And like, and more meaning gets to be imposed on every moment of your life and every interaction that you have. And like, this might be, I mean, this might be the motivating factor for like, maybe there's the same barista at your coffee shop every single day. And maybe one day it'll kind of hit you to be like, oh my God, like I have a limited amount of time with this random barista and they have made my day so much better. And like, now I get to be super nice and be like, do you live in the area or whatever? Like, who knows? Like this could change your whole life in such a positive way if you let it. So I don't know. I would explore the perspective shift in what this has to offer you. Know that you are so normal for feeling like a little bit like, oh, fuck, 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 I don't know if I like this feeling. And the second guessing yourself is normal. And check out Recovering from Religion too, because they have like a chat support, a phone support. They can help you find peer groups. They can help you find therapists who specialize in exactly this kind of situation so that you feel extra supported in that way. Engage in our communities too. Like the chats on YouTube are really helpful. I haven't been looking, but a lot of the times, even like when we're having conversations like this, like our community is really encouraging and really kind. The Patreon has a Discord group too. Like there are communities of people that have had this shared experience and can give you real tangible support. So lean on that and like really lean into it and find community in it, because life is hard enough. Religion gives people community, but the atheist community is also really special, and we get sort of like a bad rap, but ours is really cool and really fun. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have definitely I've met other atheists. I mean, most people have, obviously, but I obviously not all of them, but it does seem like another thing that is kind of helped with like shifting my viewpoint is that there are sometimes it seems like Christians and even other religions, just very religious people, can be some of the like more like most hateful and judgmental people. And then the
Mhm.
people who don't have that are sometimes some of the like nicest people. And it's like, then if you're supposedly supposed to be this like good person because you believe in this thing that may or may not be there, why do you put other people down just because they don't believe that, or just because they do something you don't agree with, or all of that stuff? And I've never been able to really get behind that because I think as long as you are a good person, what does it matter who
Yeah.
you are or what you do or things like that? And so I've never been able to be one of those people who can
It-
just openly hate people for things like that, you know?
yeah. I mean, attitudes towards the LGBTQ community are one of the primary reasons that people list for leaving their religion that they were born with in like the states
Yeah.
today. So like that is a very like pervasive problem across religious people, at least in the United States, but I think like more broadly as well. But also like don't get it twisted, atheists can also be completely awful, terrible people. It
Yes.
happens more than I
Yeah.
would, think should be possible, but we are just as prone to tribalism and
Hmm.
hatefulness, unfortunately. Um, but it's also like, I guess a lot of this comes down to, I think, just kind of trying not to rush yourself and kind of just like allow yourself to be on your own path, like everyone's is different. Like, I know a lot of people who were like, oh, I found out this thing wasn't true and then I just dropped it. And then I know people who were like, oh, I had, stages. Like for me, I got into um like a lot of woo, like out of body meditation and chakras and all that kind of stuff for a little while before I was an atheist. Um I think everyone goes through their own journey, so it's kind of just trying not to rush yourself and like accept you for where you're at and just try to honestly answer questions like,
Hmm.
how do I feel about this thing that I was told to believe? Like, do I actually really believe it? Yes, no, why? Like, just as long as you're sincerely having that conversation with yourself, I think that's all that can really be expected of you. So, sounds like you're doing it already.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely picked an interesting time for me to like go through all this too, because I just recently, within the last few months, started living completely on my own, and I've never lived on my own before, and I'm in my 30s,
Mm.
and I am getting ready to get divorced, and it's just a whole thing, and it's just I think that kind of helped me though, kind of jumpstart things because I'm trying to figure out who I am without that and being on my own and everything. I also just recently, it's probably been only like a couple of weeks since I started listening to The Line, and that helped too, just hearing your guys' conversations with people and your guys' arguments against some against some of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christians and things like that too.
Deborah, can I ask real quick before we wrap up and move to super chats?
Mhm.
Without doxing yourself, if you're anywhere near St. Louis, there are like several atheist skeptic groups in St. Louis, pretty much every metropolitan area. So if you're like on like a border to another state and somewhere some other cities closer to you, definitely check that out. Because
Yeah.
especially, it sounds like you are very alone in this situation you're at. So on top of RFR, like we already recommended, please do go check them out, recoveringfromreligion.org. So many resources there to help someone in your position. But it sounds like you really need community right now. And I would hate for you to be super alone in this, because I think sometimes people can default back to what's comfortable in that situation rather than, truly like pushing themselves to ask questions when they're in that situation. So, like, super proud of you for getting yourself where you are. That's awesome. But
Mhm.
definitely investigate a little. I know Missouri is super red, but there are, those
Yeah.
good pockets. So, yeah.
Yeah. And if they're not like physically around, find the communities online, like
Mhm.
be a part of this, because like that the line community exists because of the people who watch. Like we get to be here because people watch and because people like hang in the chat and send us super chat. Like, and they've created such like very cool relationships with each other. Like if you only just found the line, you'll notice there's a lot of like inside jokes that we all share, and like even that kind of stuff. Like it seems like silly or parasocial, like I guess from a distance, but in reality, like that is community building. That's what it is. And like that's what this community has done for each other. And like, it's cool and it's special and it makes a big difference in what this experience gets to be. And also like this is the rebranding of Deborah. Like you're getting divorced, you're in your 30s, you're living in a new place, like you're deciding to choose out of religion. Like you get to like this is actually very badass and very cool, and you get to
Mhm.
like actually do whatever the fuck you want, and that's amazing. So truly I think like you have such a huge opportunity for a perspective shift, and it's not going to be easy at times, but like Arden said, like leaning on community where you can find it, whether it's with friends, family, or with the line community, or like, you know, with our like individual social communities, whatever. Like lean on that. Like humans need that. Especially when you're in like full rebrand, which is exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely been a change for me, something I'm getting used to. And I don't live, I mean, a lot of my family lives in Missouri as well, but not as close to me. I'm like a couple hours away almost from most of them. So it's kind of weird living on my own and everything. But I've been binging kind of the line. I just have them and I listen to them on the way to work
It
because I
helps.
have to commute like half an hour. And then and so I definitely have seen like some of the comments and stuff. And like I've heard several videos of Marie, who everybody seems to know, um, and her talking to a lot of people, and
Mhm.
also some other like repeat people who call in and everything. So it's been interesting and it's been a learning experience.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, we love you already. So hang with us. We're the cool kids table, I think. And
Mhm.
we're so happy you're here.
I'm so excited for you.
And yeah, like this is an amazing new chapter, and some of it's going to be scary, but like we as a community, we got you. And so join our little chat, watch us live, call whenever, and our community is a really safe space to be. Hopefully, everyone behave. Don't now that we said this, don't turn around and embarrass me in front of Deborah. Okay? Um. Anyway, the chat is already very much embracing you, and is like in the chat. I've seen several times like, oh, Deborah is so me 6 months ago. Deborah's me a couple of years ago. Like we've all been here, so like you are so not alone. And call back again and let us know how everything is going. And like stay
Yeah.
engaged in our community, and we're happy to have you here.
Well, thank you for taking my call.
Awesome.
Anytime. We will talk to you soon, Deborah.
Yeah, and I did want to real quick say though, I do really like watching both of you on different things. I've seen you on different shows and everything. I mean, I like everybody, but you know, I kind of tend to lean more towards listening to the women.
Yes.
Yeah, girl. We love it.
That's what
we love it.
See, that was the whole point of us doing the show, so I'm glad.
So early.
Perfect. Awesome. Best of luck,
Deborah.
Deborah.
Thank you.
We will talk to you so soon.
Oh, yeah. I'll plan to call back in at some point.
Please do.
Please do. And we can't wait. Have a good night, Deborah. We'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, we love Deborah.
Aw, yeah, that was really nice.
Hey, thanks for watching that clip. Did you know we saw what you were doing when you watched it?
We saw all of it. All of it. All of it.
So you're going to want to pay us hush money over at patreon.com/calltheline, where you can buy our silence and watch our patron exclusive podcast.